Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Dr. A. Today's show, we have Aliyah Williams. Aliyah was a student of mine way back, but she was not an econ major. She's a marketing major, and since graduating from NKU, she's gone on to do great things. You'll really enjoy this conversation. Lots of wisdom to take away. Would love to hear your comments, your thoughts on this conversation. Also, we're going to reference a lot of social media accounts. Make sure to follow them, like them, and as always, like and comment on this video. Perfect. Well, I'm really excited.
Me too.
I'm excited that you're here. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When did you graduate from NKU?
December 2020.
December 2020. What was your major here?
Marketing.
Okay. Why'd you pick marketing?
Marketing actually just fell into my lap. I started at a community college, Southern State Community College.
Okay.
And I got like all my gen eds there, and I was transferring to NKU to get my.
I did not know that.
Yeah, to get my bachelor's, and I was a graphic design major at the community college.
This makes so much more sense now.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I was a graphic design major, and I loved the art classes. I just enjoyed art. I enjoy art so much, and I was like, I don't want to do this for work. And NKU didn't offer the graphic design program when I was looking on the website. So I saw marketing, and I asked my brother, he's 20 now, but he was in high school then. I was like, what's marketing? And he was like, oh, I have a marketing class at school. He's like, it's advertising. He's like, yeah, it's just advertising. I was like, all right. I think I'm going to choose that to be my major. And I chose it. Took my first marketing class when I got here. It was horrible.
Okay.
It was so tough. But it got so much better after that. And I really, I do well in marketing. Yeah. I fit there, which is strange because it fell in my lap. So.
Yeah. And knowing what I know about you and the years that we've worked together, I can't imagine a better major for you than marketing.
Yeah.
So you had my class. You had Principles of Macroeconomics.
Yep.
This is when we were doing the large lecture experiment.
Yeah.
Why didn't that change your mind so you could become an econ major? Tell me the real.
Macro is so hard.
Okay.
My brain, you were an amazing professor, and honestly, that's the only reason that I passed the class.
Yeah.
Because of the way you broke down the material, but I couldn't wrap my mind around understanding economics. I couldn't wrap my mind around it, and it was just like, I don't think my mind works like this. And I was like, I feel like that's why. It seemed very hard to me. And even micro was hard when I took it the next semester. It seemed very hard to me, but getting to know you more and meeting your econ students and getting on the call with Fanta, economics can be simple and it can be very useful. And I've said several times, maybe I should have been an econ major. But
well, what I remember from you being in class is I remember that you got it.
Really?
My experience?
Yeah.
I did not see the struggle that you're talking about.
Interesting.
Right? So I wonder how often do people think that they're struggling in a subject when they're actually doing really well?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's so I think you were harder on yourself.
Probably.
Yeah. So you did macroeconomics, and then you continued with your marketing major. If you had to describe your experience at the Hale College of Business, how would you describe it?
When I think of my college experience at NKU, my first thing is my professors. Yeah. My professors. You and Dr. Raska specifically come to mind. Your class you were the first professor that was like, you're going to know me after you graduate. I'm the person you're going to invite to your wedding. And that stood out to me because I'm like, I like this dude. I'm like, he's an awesome professor. He's so laid back, and you just broke down the material so well. So I enjoyed that class, and I enjoyed being able to come to your office. I remember during when I was in college, I came and I cried about my current job, and I was telling you how stressed out I was. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember.
Yeah, and I didn't come in there to cry, but I ended up breaking down with you and just telling you how hard it was. And that meant a lot that you listened and then you gave advice and you were encouraging and supportive because I feel like you don't get that outside of your family, and some people don't get that in their family. Yeah. So to have someone outside of my family empathize with me and give me support was amazing. So that was the professors. And then Dr. Raska, his class was amazing. Just having the classroom set up as work. Yeah. And then if you did well in the class, being able to use that on your resume. And he was the one who told me about I guess we'll get into that, but my marketing research job. And then he gave in a good recommendation for me that I would be a good fit, which I was. I did well in the role. Yeah. I just wasn't enjoying it. But yeah.
So you felt like you belonged here.
Yes.
Yeah. And the faculty are the catalyst.
For sure.
The thing that I remember about you as a student is you did knock on my door. Yeah. Right? And I think you're marginalizing how much effort you put in to creating that sense of belonging as well. You got out of your comfort zone.
For sure.
And reached out for support.
For sure.
About things that, like, how many students come to talk to their faculty member about their job? Right. So don't marginalize your effort in creating that environment as well. I mean, I'll take full credit. Yeah. but we'll share the credit here.
That's a good point.
So tell me more about Dr. Raska's class, because it sounds like it's a different setup.
Yeah, so it was the marketing research course that you're required to take as a marketing major. And when we first got in the class, he told us, like, this is not a regular setup. We're going to go through some materials and you're going to learn things. But he said, this is a job. We're going to get a project to work on. We're going to work on these projects. And if you do well in this class, you can then use this job as an internship on your resume, as work experience on your resume. And that was so vital because at NKU, marketing majors aren't required to have an internship. And while I got an internship on my own outside of the school, that was another way to be connected through the school by taking Raska's class and him offering it as work experience. So it was a great setup. We did a couple of projects together. We worked on real data. He gave raw feedback, like, as our client. And we even had a hiccup. I totally forgot. We even had a hiccup in our group with one of our peers. And he taught me how to deal with that. Like, you'll be in the work field and you'll have to deal with people like that. And it was like raw, honest truth. And I didn't want to hear it. But it was real truth. And it was good experience. And to hear him give feedback on that too.
Yeah, we just did a survey, and one of the feedback of graduates, like 10 years later, one of the feedback that we got is make sure we work in groups more often. Yeah. Because the real world is all about working with groups and learning how to navigate that tense environment at times is valuable. But when you do it in class, students are like, oh, not another group project.
Oh my goodness, it's dreadful as a student.
All right, so you do really well at NKU, and then you transition to the labor force. Yeah. I have a lot of students going through this process right now. What was your experience?
When I look back on my experience now, it was smooth, but it was smooth because COVID started happening that last semester of me graduating. So I was in Raska's class, and he had posted a job. They were applying for, they were needing someone for a job position. And I was looking at the qualifications. I was like, okay, this seems fairly straightforward. It was pretty broad, like the requirements. So I was like, this seems fairly straightforward. I always wanted to be the person who got a job before I graduated. Like that was something.
Was that a goal you set on your?
A kind of goal I set on myself as I was in college. So I was like, well, why not apply now? This was the last semester before I graduated. So I applied for the job. So went to the interview. I interviewed with like 7 people at the company. So
not in one room, but like in multiple iterations?
No, one interview, and they came in and out.
Okay.
And it was like several different people.
Sounds stressful.
It was. Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah. But they were all in different positions, and they were giving their perspective. And once I got into the role, I understood why I had to interview with all of them. But at the time, I was like, I don't know what you all are talking about. I was applying for a field marketing research position, and I didn't necessarily know what that was. So I'm not even going to lie. When I applied for it, I still didn't have a complete understanding of what my job was going to be because the requirements were so broad. So I was like, it still sounded like something I could do. Yeah. So it didn't, deter me in that way, but it was still broad. Like, I don't know exactly what this job is. And honestly, even if you ask me now, I still don't know how to break it down. And I did the job for 18 months. I still don't know how to break it down. But, so I went and had the interview. And then there were a couple of different classmates who actually applied for the job. And they gave Raska a call. And they asked Raska, who do you think would be the best fit? And they broke down, what they were looking for. And he was like...
So once again, a professor comes to the side of rescue here.
And so they asked him, and he said, I think Elijah would be the best fit for that. Elijah's self-motivated. She can work in like a kind of an entrepreneurial setting. She doesn't need too much assistance once you give her the guidelines. So Dr. Raska put the recommendation in, and I got the job offer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was great.
But you said you were there for 18 months.
18 months.
Okay. So you're no longer there.
No, I'm not there.
What are you doing these days?
I am the founder of A2B Marketing.
Okay.
It's a social media agency. So we help businesses and brands grow their reach through social media.
Okay, so you went from being employed to self-employment, entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
Wasn't that scary?
It was very scary.
Okay.
And I can't give too much advice on it because I did have a cushion.
Okay.
I did have a cushion, but it was still scary in the sense, not even financially at that point. It was scary in the sense of, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, how do I do this? And I kept creating problems for myself. Like, I kept telling myself, you need to completely understand social media management before you try to get a client. You need to completely understand ad management. You need to completely understand these things. And the reality is you learn a lot as you go.
Yeah.
Try to get prepared with the basics and get a structure set up where you can have, a nice flowing process, but you're not going to be able to know everything. Yeah. And so I had to kind of get out of my way. I was in my way. I was like procrastinating for so long. So I had to get out of my way and just allow myself to go through the process and learn things. And I have. It's been so amazing. It's been nice.
So tell me more about this waiting to be ready, or what I tell my students, you're waiting for perfection.
Yeah.
And how did you overcome that? Like, what made you do it? If you were waiting and you were getting in the way, there was something or an experience that kind of nudged you to no longer wait.
It was a push. It was a push for my boyfriend.
Okay.
He's an entrepreneur. And he would hear me go back and forth every day about these problems that I was creating for myself. And he was like, Elijah, you're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do it and see what comes up. The best quote is, the problems that you're planning for now won't exist when you start, and you'll have a new set of problems. Gotcha. And I recall him saying that, and that was the very pivot moment where I was like, okay, Elijah, move. You have to get out your way. And when I started, he was so right.
Yeah.
When I started, I had trouble with writing a contract, what to put in the terms and conditions. Yeah. Making sure I communicate with my client. Hey, don't get on your social media page. I didn't have this with the Econ Games, but another client, I had to tell her, hey, don't post. We're trying to get, analytics back from the post that I'm creating. Yeah. Just how to communicate with a whole list of problems that I didn't even think of. And I'm like, I'm happy I didn't try to solve that list because it's useless. It's useless. Yeah.
So sometimes you just got to do it.
Absolutely.
All right. So you've been self-employed entrepreneur for how long?
Since February.
Okay. And how's it going?
It's going well. It's going well.
Yeah.
It has its hard moments, and everything falls on you, and it's up to you. Yeah. When you communicate back with your client, how many clients you have, how to spread out your workload, how to enjoy life, how not to just run and get lunch or, go out and about because you work for yourself. Yeah. And I would say the biggest struggle that I had, being self-motivated on my own, which is strange because a lot of people that know me would say I'm self-motivated. But like staying in that zone while you're working at home, I have an office, but I don't drive there.
Yeah.
So I'll just work at home, and just getting in the zone. It was kind of hard for me. But once I'm in the zone, I'm in there for a couple hours. But initially getting in there, it can be difficult. But
the whole how to get started on productivity.
Yeah, like for the day. Sometimes I'm like, I have to do this, and I kind of went back to my corporate days, and I'm like, how did you get things done?
Yeah.
When you're working in corporate, get the most important things done first. What needs to be paid attention to right away, you get those things done, and then you can do everything else on the list.
So that's your productivity hack.
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
For me.
So I have a video on productivity methods. What I'm hearing is you're a list creator.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes I write it down. I don't necessarily have to write it down all the time, though.
You just...
in my mind.
Okay.
But I do, sometimes I make a to-do list the day before, like Tuesday's to-do list. So it's about 50-50.
Yeah.
Some days I write it down, some days I don't, but yeah.
And so other than self-motivation and work consistency, what other pain points do you have as an entrepreneur?
The confidence that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have an undergrad in marketing. During marketing research kind of rolls over into my business. And sometimes I'm still like, wow, do I really know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Imposter syndrome.
Yeah. And I kind of like, am I ready for this? Like, am I able to do this? But then I get good results from my clients, and my clients give me good feedback that they like what they're seeing.
So we got to put some cards on the table over here. If you're watching this, Aliyah is the person or the firm, A2B Marketing is the firm behind the Instagram, LinkedIn, and soon to be the Twitter of the Econ Games.
Yes, that's us.
And as your client, I could tell you that you're doing an amazing job. And it's not just the post. What I love about working with you is the communication.
Great.
How often you tell us about what you're trying, what you're experimenting with, what the results are. A lot of these social media or marketing firms will only tell you about the good things that happen.
Yeah.
They don't tell you what didn't work.
Yeah.
And you've truly invested in learning about us and what our vision is.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a social media content marketing person, A2B Marketing, I will make sure to include all that information. Yeah. So we actually just signed up for another 6 months.
6 months.
Yep. So thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you guys.
Let's talk about the Econ Games. Like,
yeah.
How did you, because, I mean, you're a marketing major. You had to learn about economics. You're speaking. You're the voice of the Econ Games. How has that process been onboarding as the marketing firm for the Econ Games? What have you learned?
I've learned a lot. I've learned first that you have amazing students.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
If any students are watching, the best part about my job is working with the students right now and then many years after. So yes, thank you.
So just the onboarding process has been interesting. It's been easy in the sense of Econ Games target audiences, current students and young professionals, which I fall into the young professionals, but I was a student just not too long ago. So kind of getting in the mindset of where I was when I was a junior and senior, and then where you are when you're graduating. And then talking to the current students now to make sure I'm actually on point, because times can change. I know 2 years doesn't seem that long, but things can change. So just staying up to date with what the students now currently care about, what struggles they're facing, what they want to see, and then what young professionals are facing and what they want to see. And I would say it's finding the voice for the Econ Games was a struggle in the sense of I wasn't an econ major. So a lot of things I do have to research. And I take my time researching it and making sure I'm giving proper information back. But I utilize the students and yourself, asking you guys, does this work? Does this make sense? And getting your feedback to see if it's anything I should change.
I'll tell you, I've been really enjoying the reels with the students.
They're fun.
Yeah, that you're really capturing the tone and the attitude.
Yeah.
Of what we're trying to accomplish. We want to make economics fun.
Absolutely.
Personality.
Yeah.
And you're bringing all of that. So thank you for doing that.
Of course, I've enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
So much.
So I look forward for us to continue working on that. You referenced the students.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go back to, and I apologize. I really did not know that you had started at community college and transferred. Mm-hmm. So there's more and more people that are making that leap.
Yeah.
Either from high school straight to college, or high school, community college, and then university level. If you could go back to transitioning to NKU, Aliyah, what advice would you give yourself or somebody that's doing that, making that transition now?
I would give this advice to myself and someone making the transition. I would definitely say get involved in an organization. I worked the whole time I was in college, so that was my excuse why I never got involved in an organization. I was like, oh, classes are enough. That's exhausting. I don't have enough time. But now that I look, I had time.
Yeah.
I should have made time. I would have still been able to pay the car insurance and the car payment that I had. But my bills back then were so minor compared to the ones now. It's like I had time. So get involved, because getting involved allows you to have experience to put on your resume and allows you to build a network. Because I can say I was kind of lucky in the sense I worked at Tide Cleaners when I was in college. So I built a network through the professionals that would drive through to get their dry cleaning.
Oh, wow.
And I met the CEO of Metro. I have his card. I know a director at a hospital, and I've reached out to these people to get other people jobs.
Yeah.
And they were my network, and I was able to build my network in that way. But everyone doesn't have that. Yeah. So it's super important to get involved so you have experience on your resume, but then also to build a network, because you never know at what point you'll have to call someone for yourself or for a friend, to get a job, or mainly to get a job, because it's how we take care of ourselves.
So what advice do you have for the faculty? You've talked highly about the faculty members at the Hale College of Business, but what do you wish we provided more of or less of? Like, what do I need to know?
I can speak for myself, and I've talked to other NKU students, create more awareness of the organizations.
Okay.
There's like a lack of that. There's a marketing club in the College of Business. Never knew that until I was graduating. The Econ Games, I heard you speak of it, but I didn't know exactly what it was, and I thought it was just for econ majors. Yeah. When I realized when I went to the event this year, it's totally not just for econ majors. Yeah. I feel like the faculty could make it promote the organizations on campus more. I feel like that was a lack with all the students not knowing what organizations were out there, and then showing the benefit of it.
Okay. How do you do that?
I mean, I would definitely say a social media post since all the kids are on social media, but it could be a flyer.
Okay.
So the flyer at the top, it can say what the organization is and then the benefits of you being a part of that organization. And then making it not so 30 minutes to an hour once a week, twice a week, where it's not like it's a huge commitment to it, because I think a lot of students that come to NKU work also. Yes. So it's like, it's this thing with, I don't have enough time, I have to go to work, I have these bills I have to pay. But if it's, oh, well, that organization is only 30 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursday, why not? Why can't I join that in between classes, making it at a reasonable time? I feel like that's some good advice for the faculty.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So what's next for you from here?
Continue to build A to B marketing, continue to build Econ Games community. I can't wait to do that online. I have so many ideas for that, and just enjoying life. I feel like I've just been in a rush. Yeah. I don't know where I was going. I'm like, where were you going? And it's like, to get to this moment, I finally am a business owner, and I'm like, yeah, this is not as fun as I thought it was going to be. It's not like how they make it out on social media and in the movies. It wasn't like sparkles and it didn't blow up with fireworks. It was just like, this is cool.
Yeah.
In a humble way.
Yeah.
And people were like, are you not excited about your business? I said, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
But in a very calm, realistic way. So continue to build my brand, my client's brand, enjoy life, enjoy my family, build my network.
Yeah.
So many plans. So many plans.
All right. So one thing I want to ask you, Elijah, is how do you decide? You make this leap into entrepreneurship, but why do you decide on social media? Like, you could have done anything else.
I would say during my experience at NKU, digital marketing classes were my favorite. Okay. And I enjoyed the classes the most. And what I enjoyed was the professor, Kimberly Rauch, would actually say, we can't teach so much about social media because it's ongoing. Like, we're living in the present time of social media and its growth and how it's growing marketing in a whole other direction. We can only teach basics about it, which they did. They had amazing courses on like how to market on different platforms, but it's still in the midst of being grown. So that drew my attention when I was in school. And then when I graduated, it was like, okay, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to start a business. I had a completely different business model. Yeah. A completely different business model. And I was like, dang, I'm just going to throw away this degree I just got. And I was like, I didn't like marketing research. I enjoyed my internship. I enjoyed getting to know the locals, building an email list. I enjoyed digital marketing. So then I came back to my digital marketing course, and then it was like, okay, what skill can you create within the digital marketing realm to then monetize on it? And it came to social media manager came about. And I started following all these social media managers, and then it was ad management. Then I found out I can just offer the service of content creation. Like, some people just don't have the time to create the content. And then media kits were a thing, you know, creating brand colors, fonts. Sometimes people just need media kits. They don't even need you to perform the whole service. So I feel like that's how I kind of came to that decision. It wasn't something that was initially my thought. I didn't know. Let
me ask you this. Who should hire you?
Any busy business or individual that is focused on their passion and don't have time to market that passion. Okay. They should let me market it because I'm passionate about marketing.
And helping them grow.
Absolutely.
That's one thing that you always say. It's like, you get satisfaction from seeing your clients succeed. Absolutely. So, you know, obviously I create content. I'm part of this world. Yeah. And the common conversation that I have with people is, how do you have so much time? I want to do that. How do you have so much time to do that? Or, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll just post when I'm free. What's your response to somebody that says that?
Don't post without a strategy. Yeah. You should have a strategy. And it's difficult to have a strategy. It's difficult to run a business and then come up with a strategy for marketing, because you didn't start the business to market. You started creating that product because you enjoyed that shampoo, or you created that pre-workout because you enjoy working out and how that pre-workout made you feel when you were working out, not because you wanted to market that. Don't just post without strategy. If you have the funds, you should hire a social media manager. It just frees up so much time. I had an esthetician that was my client, and at the end of the service, I asked her what was the greatest benefit of having a social media manager. She was like, I was actually able to focus on other parts of my business without worrying about posting, without worrying about posting my specials for the week. She was like, I was actually able to get my finances together in this month of you working with me, because I didn't have to focus on marketing myself through social media. So that would be my answer. Don't post without a strategy. If you can afford it, hire a social media manager.
Okay, so you've seen my social media content. I'm gonna do what they always tell you not to do. I'm gonna pick your brains over here. You're about to give some free advice.
Freebies, yeah.
Give me one piece of advice for this YouTube channel.
For the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh. okay, you just released a video, your second video to why econs.
Yeah.
And I would say when you're talking to a younger audience, put it in a list form. Mm-hmm. You should choose econ, kind of how I did on the Econ Games page. Mm-hmm. You should choose econ 1, then the reason, and then why, and then 2, and kind of put it in a list format. Okay. Because then when a person is looking up, a high school student is looking up, why should I choose econ? And they go onto YouTube, they go to your video, and they're like, okay, cool, he just listed out these points.
I can't tell where one starts and another one ends.
Yeah.
Kind of have to compartmentalize it for them.
Make it a list, especially for the younger audience. Yeah. Because their attention spans are so short. Yeah. And they might want to just get on there and learn an answer really quick. And I don't even know, in your drop down bar, do you have like the time breakdown where it tells what you're talking about?
No.
I've seen that in YouTubers. It's very useful. And I'll actually show you what I'm talking about. It breaks down. At 2:03, he starts to talk about this reason. Chapters. That's a good, that's a good way. Okay. That's how I would upgrade that on YouTube.
I really need to hire somebody.
Yeah, you do.
To help me do that.
A to B.
A to B?
Yeah.
A to B is where it's at?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, more business. Well, thank you for that.
Of course.
A lot of people need a brand recognition or awareness strategy, and I have this conversation with faculty members, with colleges, universities, and the strategy journals, like academic journals, right? They need people to read their content. How are you getting out there? This is my free advice to you. If you want to get into marketing and higher education, it's an open field, right? Like telling the student story. You're trying to attract future students. Like one of the reasons that you're here is because I want future students to see what the path looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Talk about our successes. So how can we leverage more of the storytelling? As a faculty member, like right now I'm working on 2 videos about 2 academic papers that are going to come out. Yeah. I want people to read them. Yeah. What's my marketing strategy?
For you, I would definitely say it's your email list, your social media, and make it a
experiment
short video.
All right. I love the fact that you were my student. Yeah. And now we work together. Yeah. And you are helping us grow something that I'm extremely passionate about. You're working with our students, and you're a mentor to them. I don't know if you realize this.
I don't know.
They think you are like the most amazing person.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So I know you reached out to them since you were going to be on campus today so they could shoot some videos with you. And I could tell you that they were heartbroken that they couldn't make it.
Yeah. It's okay.
But thank you for being a mentor. And this video is going to be something for other students to see and realize that, we don't tell people often enough that the path is uncertain. Yeah. There's no one way to success. Yeah. But you have to kind of dig deep and figure out what's really important to you.
Absolutely.
So thank you for continuing to give back to the Hale College of Business.
Of course.
All right. Make sure to follow her on Instagram.
And LinkedIn. Do A to B marketing with 2 underscores.
Okay. I'll make sure to link it over here, put it in the description. Thank you all for watching. See you next week.
See ya.